welcome back to the channel. In this episode we continue in answering all the lovely questions you sent in to us, but this time we've changed location and we're currently in an Airbnb in Ilfracombe.
Somebody has said, is the little red camper underpowered, and are there different engine options that you can get?
What's your view?
Only slightly, like if you're going up very steep hills, it probably is a bit underpowered, but I mean, it's fine for motorway driving, I find, because don't you think? We go up to 70 miles an hour and it's fine. Tend to like cruise along at 65 because we don't like to drive fast anyway. And there are different engine options. I'll let you explain that.
I don't think it's underpowered. Yes, at times on the absolute steepest, like 1 in 25 hills, there's been a couple of occasions where it's almost come to a stop, hasn't it? But I think we've got to remember that once you've converted a camper van, there's quite a lot of weight in the back. You know, I don't know how much it weighs and how close to the limit we are, but it's definitely hauling a lot of weight. It can easily spin the front wheels, which can be a bit of a problem if it's wet and a bit slippy.
Or if you're on gravel on a steep hill.
When you're pulling out at junctions, you have to be very careful of that. But otherwise, I would say it's quite fun to drive. It's definitely got a very clear power band. If you keep the revs at 2,000 revs, it will climb most things, won't it? Well, we haven't touch wood found anywhere where it won't handle it.
Totally stuck. No.
I think if you got balked by another car on a very steep hill, that so far hasn't happened to us, has it?
There was one on our recent trip to the Lake District, right at the end, where we were going up a really steep, narrow lane. And we said when we got to the top, I don't know what we'd have done if we'd have met a car.
Yeah, I know it's happened, but I can't really remember that, where that was.
Luckily, we didn't have to stop.
Yeah.
We could just keep going, so.
Poor little truck said a challenging day today.
Steep hills all round.
We're going straight
up. Oh my God. You can make it.
Say this is at its limit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to get going again. And because of its size, we can squeeze through most things, can't we? So we could sort of keep it going. The engines there are 2 diesel engines. We got the more powerful one. So I don't know what it's like driving the next one down. There must be a difference. But they don't make those diesels anymore. The only one you can get now, brand new, is an electric. And of course that wouldn't have any problems with power at all, would it? Because they're so powerful, electric motors.
Yeah. So that leads into the next question. Do you have an interest in an electric alternative now or in the future?
Shall I go with that one then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like electric vehicles. I like the performance aspect of an electric vehicle. I'd love to have a Tesla. Don't think I'd like to pay that much for it. And I could probably get all the fun I ever require by hiring one for a couple of days.
Yeah. Scary having that much money sat on your drive.
Yeah, it is really.
Worry about it getting nicked.
And it wouldn't get used that much, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, if the range was similar to the diesel, then I probably wouldn't hesitate. The only thing I wouldn't want is to be reliable on campsites to charge the thing up. And I'm thinking there more of the leisure battery system and the cooking system. I think an electric van with gas cooking and a leisure battery that can be recharged by solar.
Yeah.
Then maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're ready yet.
Yeah, but in the future,
I don't
they're
think,
getting better all the
I
time.
don't think we'll
aren't
have a
they?
choice in the future.
Yeah, so it'll come, won't it? Yeah. Next question.
Yeah.
How do you secure the van to stop it being pinched?
Right, well, that we take various measures to stop the van being pinched, but I'm not going to explain them on video. You know, if somebody pinches the van, we'll know they've pinched it pretty soon, wouldn't we?
And the only thing we
the
do
obvious
is
ones,
the steering wheel lock. It's
yeah,
the
which is
obvious
a
thing.
visual deterrent. It wouldn't stop a determined thief by any means, but we certainly always drop the internal curtain, close all the curtains so it's impossible to look through the windows.
You can't see in what's
and
in
see
the back
inside.
of the van. Fit a steering wheel lock.
Yeah.
And set the alarm on the vehicle when we leave it.
Also, I pay attention to where we are and whether I think it's safe. You know, if we went into a car park and there was broken glass all over the floor, I just wouldn't leave the car there. No. I just wouldn't do it. So, yeah, by paying attention to where we park and making sure people can't see anything that's worth stealing on open display, I think that's about as much as you can do.
Yeah, and touch wood.
Touch wood.
On this van.
Yeah.
So far, we've been all right.
We have been broken into before in other vehicles, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had about 3 different cars we've had in the past that have been broken into.
Were they all in the New Forest?
No. Oh, no. One was in the New Forest.
Yeah. One was up north, wasn't it?
One was Manchester. And one was in France.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We have had experience of people breaking in. Someone has asked for a breakdown of mileage and fuel costs for last year, so I can just go through those, just give you a rough idea. So for the year 2021, which was a COVID year, so probably not
typical.
a typical year, but we drove 5,638 miles in the van and spent £726 on diesel. And for the 2 years that we'd owned the vehicle, we've spent £628 on servicing costs.
That's at the main dealer.
At the main Nissan dealer. And £370 for the 2 years habitation servicing costs with Sussex Campervans. So in total, £998 for servicing for 2 years.
Yeah. I think it's fairly economical to run, isn't it?
Yeah, so
you know,
you're looking, so what, £500 a year, and then plus insurance. And road tax.
Yeah, how much do we pay for insurance?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Road tax, I think, is £275. That might have gone up again because that will be due end of September.
I think we pay a little bit more for our insurance because we've got an agreed value.
Agreed value, yeah.
So we know what will be paid if the van is destroyed.
It's £300 or £400. I'm not sure the exact figure.
Yeah. And how many miles are we allowed to do in ours? Was it 25?
We put 20,000 on at the time because we thought we'd be doing quite a lot of miles going all over Europe.
Yeah.
So.
But as long as COVID lays down, then that mileage will be more realistic for us. Yeah.
We hope. And then just a fun question for the end of that section. Which wins for a takeaway, curry or Chinese?
Curry or Chinese? That's the only 2 choices.
Well, or what's your favourite takeaway?
Well, let's do the win. Curry or Chinese. If this all depends on whether the food is good.
Yeah.
So let's say we got 2 brilliant takeaway restaurants doing the best quality food, curry or Chinese. I think curry then for me.
Yeah. I was going to say, probably if it was to eat out in a restaurant, I'd always prefer curry Indian over going to a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
I think I've got to be in the mood for a Chinese takeaway.
I'm always in the mood for a Chinese.
Whereas a curry I can eat more anytime.
It all depends whether it's good. You know, we're lucky that we've travelled a vast majority of this country, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we've eaten in a lot of Chinese
And they're generally very good.
They're generally
Yeah.
very good, but occasionally you get a bad one. We had a bad one the other night, didn't we, in Torquay?
Yeah. Was it? Yeah, it was from Torquay.
It was awful.
Yeah.
You know, it was the local
Really
Chinese.
bad
And
Chinese.
it just goes to show how you can't rely on the reviews, because
No.
they were 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
And yet it was the most stodgy, horrible stuff we've ever had, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that's that. But I like virtually anything.
Yeah.
Kebabs, or, you know, you get a really good kebab. That's a pure joy,
I
isn't
quite
it?
often enjoy a nice kebab.
Yeah.
Fish and chips, always a
A
favourite.
nice
isn't it?
carvery with all the trimmings. That's a treat.
Eating out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the end of that section of questions. So we'll leave this one here, but there'll be more Q&A coming very soon.